Yes, it's Russian. It's time to play the game.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Second Level Podcast. It's been an extra week. That means there's been an extra week of sports. That means there's so many extra things to talk about. Today, I'm here with Asher, Carter, and Nate, and we are talking all things football across the spectrum because there is so much that has been happening. But first, because this just happened and everybody's still up in arms about it somehow, I want to hear what you guys thought of the college football playoffs this year. The national champions, Indiana, there's lots of people calling them fraudulent somehow. I want to see what you guys have to say about that because I'm very curious if you can debunk this.
Yeah, I'll start if nobody else wants to dive in here. But I think this playoff, like the playoffs that we just watched, were exactly why college football is moving in the right direction. We got more parity this playoffs than we've had in any year past, and we had one of the most losingest programs in college football history come out and win a national championship. And not only win a national championship, I mean, they reminded me of a Nick Saban team. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of been drawing that comparison, which maybe it sounds a little bit blasphemous because Nick Saban is as great as he is. But this team looked like they didn't have many cracks in the armor, and they just dominated, it felt like, from wire to wire. Sure, they had close games, but that's bound to happen in college football. And they went 16-0. They won 16 games, which in college football is unheard of. I think the last time that was done was by Yale in the way back when. So I was impressed. I think parity is good for college football, and I think this playoffs was an example of why parity is good for college football.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Curt Cignetti's got that team in lock, but I'm curious, anybody can jump in on this too. Was this Curt Cignetti's plan all along? Was he going to wait exactly this long to be ready for this exact team, or did he just happen upon a 16-0 team? Is he able to run this back? I know he's a great coach. We've established he's a great coach. But was this end game, or was this the start of a nice little Indiana football program slate right now?
I think he can. I think he can. I mean, he's already had a great transfer portal as it is. He brings in. He brought in the quarterback. He got in blanking. Sorry. They bring in the quarterback Joshua. They bring in like one of the top wide receivers in the portal, Nick Marsh, and there's a bunch of guys should contribute. And well, Coach Cignetti has already proven to me he's been one of the best coaches I've laid my eyes on. Mm-hmm. And I mean if he's able to do what he did with the rush he had now with a bunch of 3-stars and some 4-stars, and I mean I can imagine what he can do with much more talent coming in. I mean
Curt Cignetti. Yeah, he's a pure culture guy. It seems like. I mean, the culture at Indiana this past season, if it could be measured in a quantifiable way, it would break through anything that we've seen. This team kind of operated as one moving unit, and that all stems from Curt Cignetti. I mean, if I could sit here and talk and praise Curt Cignetti for the next hour to 2 hours, I think I could keep talking. I don't think I'd run out of things to say, because the way that he led that group of young men. I mean, now they are a very mature and they are a very experienced squad, but they're young football players who were one of the least penalized groups in the nation, and one of the most overall dominant groups. So I think this is just step one for what's going to be one of the greatest college coaching careers. Look at what he's done everywhere. He's won at James Madison. He won where he was before that. in the lower divisions, and he's going to continue to win at Indiana because he has the funding, and he's going to continue to get the recruits that make runs like the one they just went on possible.
Oh yeah, and I'm right there with you, Asher. I mean, I think I don't know exactly how old Signetti is, but you don't have to be young to be a good or a great college football coach. And Signetti, I think, he's one of those guys where it always feels like he wants more, you know? It's like he wins, he gets to the highest level, the highest point that he's at, and he wants to win even more. He wants to do even more after that. And so I'm more curious to see if he's just going to continue, consider dominance with Indiana through continuing to hold a strong team, maybe win a few more national championships throughout his career as what the next level would be, or if he feels he could, maybe in a few years he could do it somewhere else. He's just one of those weird guys where I feel like he'll never be satisfied, even if he is the best person in the country, just because that's how much he loves it.
Yeah. Maybe it's the red. Maybe it's something about him not really looking thrilled on the sideline. But I see flashes of Nick Saban and Kurt Signetti.
No, I can definitely buy that.
He has the Nick Saban mentality. I mean, obviously he was under coaching staff for about 4 years at Alabama, but he definitely has the mentality. But
Yeah. With all the Big Ten additions to their conference, they had Oregon come over. They had all kinds of people moving around. Having Indiana come out on top of all teams, does this solidify Big Ten as a serious contender against the SEC for best conference in college football?
I don't think it's a competition. I don't even think when is the last time the SEC's won a national championship outside of Georgia and Alabama?
True.
I guess the last one was LSU in 2019. But you look at the SEC, and in terms of winning the national championships over recent years, it's been relatively top heavy with who their big contenders are. Now in the Big Ten, we're seeing unique contenders every year. It feels like we've had Penn State, we have Indiana, we've had Oregon now in multiple playoffs. Ohio State has won a national championship. Michigan's won a national championship. Indiana's won a national championship. So if anything, you can say that they're on the same level. But personally, I believe the Big Ten is kind of running away with this best conference in college football title in comparison that people love to do. And I think that gap's going to continue to get bigger. Because look where the transfers are going, look where the funding is, and they've got schools reaching from, New Jersey all the way out to California. They literally cover the entire continental United States as a conference, and their reign on college football, I think, is just going to continue over the next few years as more programs continue to get good. Like Washington is also in the Big Ten, and they were I know they were in the Pac-12 when they made the playoffs, but they're a playoff team that's also in the Big Ten now.
Yeah, and I agree, Asher. I do think it's not a competition right now, and there are a few more unique teams that are winning in the playoffs, making the playoffs. Indiana, I think, is one of the more oddball national champions that we've seen in a while.
I think that's why everybody's trying to call it fraudulent. It's just because it's so out of left field.
I don't know how you can call it fraudulent, though, when they dominated their way to it.
Exactly.
If we're going to are we going to start calling just any sort of parody in the sport fraudulent because it's new, because we can't accept change? I think if we embrace the changing landscape of college football, it's going to become a great product for everyone involved. Because, look at this year's playoffs, like Indiana in the college football playoffs. If I would have told you guys that 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, you would have thought I was crazy. Same with maybe a team like Texas Tech or, even with, I know the way that this year played out, we got 2 group of 5 teams and we had Tulane and James Madison in the college football playoff. That's insane, but I think it's also amazing for the sport.
Yeah. So because we're talking about it, I do want to get your guys' predictions, because as we're kind of talking about here, the Big Ten has more or less taken over. Is there another conference besides the Big Ten and the SEC who is slowly gaining ground on those top 2? that could have
It's not the
potentially
ACC.
several
No,
playoff
No,
teams?
I don't
No.
think so. I think
no.
we're
It's a big
Yeah,
gap. There's a big gap between the two of them. I think the next conference is maybe the Big 12 at number 3. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But the Big 12 is all those teams in that conference are like pretty much right neck and neck with one another. There's not like one. I mean, I don't know. Like you look at that conference, just like I don't know. There's a gap. Pretty much, there's a gap between the Big 12 / ACC and SEC and Big 10.
Yeah, I think it's only because those two conferences are so top heavy. If they want to be true, like, contending conferences, they need to spread out a little bit, have a little bit of parity among themselves to, Miami's not going to be at the top every year. One year we're going to get Duke, or we're going to get Wake Forest come out of nowhere, or we need more parity in the ACC or the Big 12 in order for them to get closer. I don't really see that happening. I think you guys are right. I think the Big 10 is kind of running away with it. The SEC is always going to get its recruits, but I think the Big 10 has taken a clear number 1 spot.
And the problem with the conference like the ACC, when they were up there just a few years ago, I mean, the two-headed monster of Clemson and Florida State, they have fallen off in their own respective rights. Clemson to a lesser extent, and Florida State to a huger extent.
Mm-hmm.
Both teams are down from what they once were. And with that being down, it leaves them with basically Miami helped their cause a lot this year by getting to the national championship for sure. And Miami isn't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere in terms of being a contender at least. I mean, the ACC always has the potential to get back to where they once were. They're just still in this. They haven't fully adapted yet to the new landscape. But once they just got to adapt to the new landscape.
Yeah, their recruiting boards are not looking any different than they were like 5-10 years ago. And that's a problem because everybody else is shifting theirs and getting on top of recruits.
I think the Big 12 as a whole is closer to the other two conferences because they aren't as reliant on those like top tier contenders like Miami was for the ACC this year, like Florida State or Clemson have been in the past for the conference. The Big 12, like I mentioned Texas Tech earlier, they're continuing to get better. I'd say that they're already probably a safe pick for next year's playoff just because the roster continues to get better. But then you also have teams like Oklahoma State who are going to be bringing in like a lot of talent and probably one of the best transfer quarterbacks in Mestamaker next year. They're going to be a team to look out for. And you can go down the list. TCU, Arizona State made the playoffs. Iowa State, which I guess they lost their coach. But needless to say, I think the Big 12 is a little bit deeper than the ACC, but there is a giant chasm between the Big 10, SEC, and then the rest of the sport.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like you got the Big 12, SEC, Big 10, SEC, then the Big 12 and the ACC are also tight in their own rights. They're both tight, but the gap's kind of huge right now.
Yeah, Big 12 was kind of when we started at the beginning of the college football season. That was the conference where we couldn't nail down a winner. It could have been anybody. There was lots of us thought that it might be Iowa State. There were people that said Kansas State a couple times. There were spot fires of different teams that were going to be on the way up. I think that alone puts them in front of the ACC for now, just because we kind of knew who was going in the ACC anyways, even though we liked... I
didn't think any of us projected Virginia to win the ACC, though,
no.
to be fair to them. None of us predicted that it'd be Virginia and Duke in that... like nobody thought that was that like no one predicted that was going to be the conference championship game this year. So I guess you could use that as a counter argument to say the ACC has parity in its own right. But I think the difference in the parity between the two is the parity in the Big 12 is who's going to be the 10-2, 11-1, 9-3 team, and the parity in the ACC is we're all 7-5 and it's awful.
Yeah.
That's the kind of argument the ACC. They have there's a lot more mediocrity in the ACC than with the Big 12. The Big 12 has a lot more teams that can make a lot of like great teams compared to mediocrity teams, what the ACC does.
Yeah. It'll definitely be interesting for the future of the college football playoffs. We'll just have to see how that plays out over the next several years. But let's move from the college football playoff to the NFL playoffs. We all saw our teams get in. We all saw our teams lose. So I want to hear from you guys, from each of our specific teams. Asher, Nate, you can combine if you want to. But what happened to all of our teams? We have Clay talk about the Jaguars another time. But Asher, Nate, I'll start with you guys. What happened to the Texans?
We should make the person whose team got eliminated first go first, I feel.
I
think
think
that's
I think you're right.
Fair.
I think you're right.
The one that didn't win a playoff game.
One of us lost in the wild card. I think me and Nate get some time to thank here on this one.
It's coming.
I think you're right. We'll put the Packers fan on the spot. Carter, how do the Packers fix this? They already lost their defensive coordinator to Miami. What's going to happen to this team?
I think as long as we can get it doesn't have to be a high caliber superstar defensive coordinator. I had a little bit of hope in me thinking that Brian Flores maybe might slip our way, but then I got the notification today that he re-signed to the Vikings. I mean, as long as we get somebody that can really just have half a mind on defense, I think we can be okay. The talent's there, and I think that's going to draw in at least a few people. I mean, we have Micah Parsons. Who wouldn't want to coach a defense with Micah Parsons rushing the edge? And Matt LaFleur was the number one question mark for me right after that game, because time and time again this season, we saw Matt LaFleur shut down his offense in the second half, play conservative, try to run the ball a lot more, not take as many deep shots and run the plays that got them up by multiple scores in the first place. And I am willing, as a Packers fan, I'm willing to live with it for right now. But I promise you, come next season, if he has not fixed this, I will call for him. I will be tired of it. It just gets to a point, because at this point, you're starting to get into like what the Bills did with Sean McDermott. I mean, he had so much success there, won so many games, but he lost in the playoffs every single time for 6 years straight now, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And fans just get tired of it. The team gets tired of it to a point. So I don't think LaFleur is there yet, but I think another year it will be. The team will probably can it.
Yeah. We'll make sure and talk about the Bills later, because that's a whole other thing to go over.
That press conference today,
insane.
I got my thoughts. I got my thoughts and opinions.
Yeah, we'll definitely go over that here after we get through this.
Carter, you're in for a doozy.
I got a strong opinion about the Bills, but I hope that.
Yeah.
All right.
Poor Bills fans, man.
So let me hear your breakdown of the Texans, Asher and Nate, because will you guys even be able to hold your defense together? What happens to this team going forward?
I'm not worried about the defense. D'Amico Ryans is still the coach. I will never worry about the defense as long as that man is in charge, and Will Anderson is on my football team. Everything else on defense will be okay. It'll figure itself out. And that's kind of been my mindset with it.
Yeah.
What angle are you going after?
I mean, I have so many things. We need a running game, and it's plain and simple. It all starts from the running game, and we're not able to do that. in a lot of areas this season where I think if we had a solid run game, I think there's a chance that we win the division. I mean, playing playoff games at home is so important. I think, especially for us being a dome team who plays in Texas, going to New England and Pittsburgh in the playoffs is really hard.
Mhm.
And especially if you're the quarterback who's got to handle the ball every play. We saw C.J. Stroud. I mean, struggle feels like I'm being like extremely nice.
Play horrendously bad. Probably the worst. Part of the worst performance in Texans history.
Yeah, he accidentally firmly planted himself in the hot seat for next season.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
He did. And I say, but the running back thing, the mysterious situation of Joe Mixon that we still don't have much clarity about. They gave a report today, but that still doesn't give much clarity to what
the report gave
it
no
is.
information. It just said mysterious freak foot incidents.
So that
whatever
really,
that means. I mean,
that really hurt our run game a lot because in fact when we signed Nick Chubb, the idea was to have Joe Mixon being the main guy and have Nick Chubb come in and be the power back. But then that forces Woody Marks, who we drafted to be, who was a receiving back, to become, who basically became a workhorse, and that's not his identity. He's not a guy that you want to be a workhorse. He's a cool like secondary guy to bring in, like to be a secondary guy. He's not a workhorse though.
Yeah,
he's definitely not a guy I want to be. I don't. And also the scheme itself. I don't know why are we running a Woody Marks whose identity is a receiving back down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that. I mean that's our issue. Is just do that. And then again, it's the CJ. The other thing is just, that's the easy. I know it's easy pickings, but it's the CJ. He's ever since his rookie year, he's been noticeably regressing, and I've been very, very, very patient with him because I know he can be great. I know he can be great, but something's just off of him. Like he's mentally, obviously, we've seen the mental side of things is not great. You get him off kilter, he's gonna play bad. He can't play in the cold. He cannot play in the cold. It's like I don't know. I want to believe in him, and I'm trying to, but I'm starting to. Because the other thing, I'm starting to go to the other side with CJ. I'm starting to maybe look into the market a little bit. Because the thing is, we have an all-time great defense on our hands right now. An all-time great defense that we would be in the Super Bowl if CJ Stroud would just play normal.
Yeah,
so
and you're not really losing that many guys.
So, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I think there's a performance to look at here is the Seattle performance from Sam Darnold in that game. I mean, Darnold wasn't great. Darnold apparently has been hurt and is really injured. But, I mean, Darnold didn't have to do a lot. He didn't make mistakes, and that's why Seattle kind of won in the way they did. And if CJ had come out in that game against New England and been a decent enough game manager, hey, he could even turn the ball over once or twice even, I think you get rid of the pick six. The pick six changes a lot, but like CJ just had to be controlled and even like conservative. But the thing that was really getting me is there were a couple times Cade Stover was just wide open and CJ would just throw terrible passes. Just bad balls.
And he threw that one pass that might have tore his ACL.
I mean, I'll just say too much.
If I had $1 for every time I watched C.J. Stroud throw a hospital pass, over the past couple, I mean, it's like he hates his wide receivers. Like poor Nico Collins, man. Which I think if we had Nico Collins, I think a lot changes in that game too.
Yeah.
But
so I'm curious between
two things, and I'll say two more.
Yeah, I'm curious between the both of you.
I'll say two more things.
Do you guys go for Do you guys go the Chicago Bears last offseason? Do you go that route and get a bunch of new offensive linemen? Or do you completely scrap your running back room, just keep Woody, and rebuild the running back room?
I would want to do the running back room because I
You should.
honestly I saw
Running
some
back room.
promising things from the offensive line, and I don't know what Christian Kirk's contract situation is right now, but if he steps up the way he did in the
I
playoffs,
think it's fine.
and then Higgins, I think Higgins has some development ahead of him. I think he's going to develop into a really good receiver. Nico,
And we get Dell back.
yep. I mean, if Tank can stay healthy, I'm not too worried to just get a running game, figure out what's going on with Mixon's freaky foot, and then I think we'll be good because that defense. I mean, there's all pros at every position. I could go on. Where do I even begin? Like, especially like guys like Alshire, To'o, Daniil Hunter, like the guys who are kind of there's obviously everyone talks about Will Anderson, Derek Stingley, Lassiter, Petrie, but then there's those other guys like To'o, Derek Barnett, Rankins, who just all make big plays, and I'm confident that defense is going to be great next year. We got to reset some things offensively, and I think CJ Stroud just needs to find his confidence.
And one thing I'll say, I've done next year's like a best chance, I think, and it's also like because and also after next year, it's when a lot of the contract talks come up for our defense, and when we'll probably have to lose some pieces. So next year is like a big year for this team, and that makes me kind of start to look sort of at the QB market. I'm not saying attack it, but just look at it. Like look at a guy like Joe Burrow, for example. I'm just saying I would just look at it. I wouldn't say do it, but I would look at it because even though as much as I love the defense, after the performances I've seen for CJ, my trust has gone out the window for the playoffs with CJ right now for next year.
Well, I want to ask you this, and like we can all kind of discuss this one, but like let's go through like the top 10 quarterbacks in the league right now, and then you realize, wait, none of these guys are like except outside of Stafford. None of these guys are in the conference championship game because none of us think Sam Darnold's top 10, right?
He might be top 15. That's about it.
No.
Like right now?
No, yeah. Sam Darnold's
Right
not
now,
top.
well, no. He's banged up. No.
I don't
Right
even
now,
think when
no.
he's healthy. I don't even think when he's healthy, he's a top 10 quarterback.
He's maybe
Probably
top
not Sam
15.
Darnold.
He might be
He might go top
15.
10. He might.
10 right now.
Drake May is about. Okay. Mahomes, Allen, Jackson, Burrow.
Think Herbert's better than him?
Oh man.
What about T-Law?
No.
Okay. What about T-Law?
No.
Jordan Love?
Caleb?
I think
Stafford?
Caleb. I know May gets a lot of credit, but I think Caleb and Drake May are very similar.
I think so too.
I think Stafford's better than May.
Yeah.
But like my point in saying is we don't need an elite superstar quarterback to be in the conference championship. I mean, heck, Jared's now. I know it's circumstantial, but Jarrett Stidham.
Come on, man.
Jarrett Stidham and Sam Darnold are two of the starters in conference championship weekend. And the other two, I mean, shout out Matt Stafford. And then Drake May, a young year 2 quarterback. So, like, you don't need the Mahomes, the Josh Allen, the Joe Burrow, the Lamar. You don't need that. You just need consistent, safe quarterback play, especially when you got that defense.
Yeah, you just need CJ to not do what he did in the Patriots game.
Yeah.
Cut those turnovers in half, and you're probably in this weekend's game.
It's not like Stroud is a super turnover prone guy. He threw, I think, 8 interceptions the rest of the regular. Like he threw 4 in the first half, but 8 in the whole regular season. So it's not like CJ has this super bad interception problem. He's got an accuracy problem. The accuracy has continued to decline since rookie year. So it's an accuracy. It's not a throw. It's not a Jameis Winston situation. It's just he's missing the mark by these slight margins that kind of add up over time. And You go up against a team like the Patriots who have a hungry secondary, who are coached very well, and those slight miscues can really ruin you.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll transition over to the Bears at this point because, boy, they put on a show there for a second, and then Caleb decides to throw wide right, and DJ Moore gave up on the route a little bit, which he's done before. And Cam Curl makes a diving interception that I didn't think he caught at first. And then they showed the replay, and I was like, dang it, Rams won. It didn't matter that they were on our side of the field. I knew they were going to have Harrison Mevis make it. But I don't know. I like where the Bears are at. They are going to have to be smart this offseason with contracts because... and there's lots of teams that do this, but I'll include the Bears in this too. Ryan Poles has a nasty habit of overpaying for role players, and it's something that he's going to have to get rid of because he's paid. There's a couple different players that I'm thinking of when I say this, but he's paid them probably over market what they're worth, and they didn't hardly do anything this season on the team. So he's going to have to be very strategic. And if he moves them or cuts them or what have you, because there are lots of players that we're going to want back. The announcers in that Bears-Rams game would not shut up about the Bears secondary as they should. They played extremely well against a very good Rams offense, but they're all about to have expiring contracts this offseason. If they aren't smart with their money, Brisker's gone, Byard's gone, Nashawn Wright's gone, Nick McLeod's gone. The only guys that are going to be left is Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, and Tyreek Stevenson. They have to be really smart in how to move those guys around, and they need to figure out if Austin Booker is going to be the real deal, and even if Montez Sweat is going to be the real deal for edge rushing talent. I've seen lots of people looking around the league going, hey, the Bears should bring back Khalil Mack for another year. And I'm like, you know what? I'd be more than okay with that. We have Austin Booker in a rotational role, have Khalil Mack kind of start off the jump. I'm kind of good with that. As far as offense goes, that overnight became the Bears' strength. For a long time, the Bears were the most defensive team in the NFL, second only to maybe like the Ravens and maybe the 49ers in years past. But the Bears have been all defense, and they suddenly, after 1 year with an offensive-minded coach, have turned it around into an offensive team, which I'm totally 100% fine with. You just got to figure out how to retain key pieces. And that's what a lot of our teams are going to have to figure out how to do this offseason. But I think out of all of our teams that we've already discussed, the Bears might have to be the smartest about it because the Packers are only going to get better unless their defensive coordinator hire falls off a cliff. The Vikings are only going to get better because they brought Brian Flores back again. The Lions are going to get even better. The NFC North is going to be even harder to win next year. Mm-hmm. So they've got to figure out how to allocate their players and their money.
Every team had a winning record this season. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it's a grasp because the Lions and the Vikings both went 9-8, but I mean, it's if you don't, that's like the hardest thing about being in the like a tough division like that. It's like you can play your heart out to the end of the season, but you're still getting beat out because you got double-digit win teams at the top of the division. Like the NFC West is like, I definitely think it's hard too, but it's a three-way race over there.
Yeah, it is. The Cardinals are on the receiving end of several beatings, but what do the playoffs look like if the Lions' entire defense doesn't crumble apart? What do the Vikings playoff chances look like if Max Brosmer doesn't have to start for them? You know, it's all over the place in the NFC North. So many things could go right and so many things need to go wrong. But in the Bears' case, losing not very many defensive pieces is going to be very key.
How do you feel about the combination of Monangai and Swift going forward?
I like it a lot. I don't hate it at all. It kind of seems like the Bears forgot that Roshan Johnson was on the team there at the end of the season. But I like the Monangai Swift combination. They need to figure out how to get Monangai a little more consistent, because his run averages were not that great in the playoffs, and he was the guy that was almost exclusively getting stopped on those like 3rd and 1, 4th and 1s that we kept trying to go for, which isn't entirely his fault. The Rams were just on top of it, but he was the guy that's kind of consistently getting battered around. He's an excellent running back, but we've got to figure out ways to get his averages up. And I think DeAndre Swift might be a very under the radar one of the better receiving backs in the NFL. If he can continue to even just play at the same level that he did this year, he can take a step down if he wants, because I know he's older. But if he can at least like meet where he was this year, the Bears' run game is going to be just fine. I think the Bears' run game is much more reliant on the offensive line than the running back.
Well, with Swift, I mean, Swift's been doing this since he was at Georgia, where he kind of needs that guy to play off of and kind of be the spell back who can get the ball on the outside and kind of get out in space and show the
Exactly.
speed, show the agility. So I think, if Monangai can get more consistent, it's only going to make Swift better, which is just going to create a cycle of having a really good run game, and that's going to make Caleb better.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's Monangai's rookie year, so I'm not even that bent out of shape that he was under 4 yards a carry for his average. Of course I'd want it better, but it's his rookie year. The running game is only going to get better. They've got all these offensive linemen around for a hot minute here. They've got everybody for at least one more year, but the Bears are set up to do some really good things. They just need to make sure they stay ahead of Green Bay and Detroit and Minnesota, because all they're going to do is come back. And speaking of comebacks, this is turning into a disaster fest, and everybody said they had something to say about it. Carter is not in the loop, so we're going to get him in the loop.
Oh, yeah. What's going on here?
The Bills are falling all over themselves. They've fired their coach. They're throwing players under the bus. Asher, Nate, what do you make of all this?
I mean, their owner looks like the biggest idiot in the world right now. Now, let me compare this. Just, there are 2 press conferences from owners that really stand out to me, and I'll kind of get into what I mean with that here in a second. There's 2 ways you can carry yourself in front of the media. You can be straight up, you can be honest, you can be integral, and you can be cold, hard, and present the truth. Or you can own the Buffalo Bills. And the comparison I would make is the Ravens general manager, after they fired John Harbaugh, came out and did one of the most electric press conferences I have ever seen. Not only a sports owner do, but anybody do. He sat up there, he answered every question, and he answered it just brutally honest. There was one point I was asked if Luke made that kick, would Harbaugh still be employed? And he said, yeah, for 1 more week. I mean, the honesty, it goes a long way. It helps connect with the fans. And I saw just the Baltimore Ravens fans were just backing their owner. Now compare that to what the Buffalo Bills guy goes out and does, where he proclaims that the reason for the Sean McDermott firing is because, they're not winning in the playoffs, and he has been the reason they drafted some players who haven't worked out, and more specifically Keon Coleman. And he basically said the GM didn't want Coleman and was actually just going to concede that and allow McDermott to make the pick. When in reality, their GM, whose name is slipping my mind right now, I need to
Brandon Bean.
Brandon
that
Bean.
guy.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Beam. There came out clips where he was before Coleman was drafted. There was him running. I think it was at a pro day. He ran like a 4 something. 4 not great. It was not impressive for a wide receiver. And he basically was like, "Great, that means we can get him easier." And then he proclaimed that Coleman was their guy in case something happened. But now it was Sean McDermott's fault, even though there's video evidence proving the other direction. The Buffalo Bills since 2018. Do you guys want to take a guess on how many Pro Bowlers the Buffalo Bills have drafted?
I know this answer. I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna see if somebody else will do it.
Carter, you want to take a guess?
I saw the tweet.
Yeah. You want to take a guess, Carter, on how many Pro Bowlers the Bills have drafted since 2018? Who? Yeah, James Cook and Dawson Knox. That's really bad, and it's also not Sean McDermott's fault. Now, I don't think Sean McDermott is the best coach in the world, and he's had some interesting coaching comments in the past, basically telling his team to play like some other teams, not sports teams. Anywho, now I think moving on from McDermott is okay, but I think doing it in this dishonest manner is just absolutely absurd.
It feels icky.
And I
think Buffalo Bills fans should riot.
I'll say this, like you said, the firing of Sean McDermott's not the issue here. To me, it's
keep going.
The issue here is the promotion of Brandon Bean to be pretty much the president of operations, overseeing pretty much everything that's going on. He can have control of the staff while still being the GM. Well, my issue here is being a Texans fan and going through the Bill Bryan / Shaq Easterby era. I get severe PTSD. Like, bro, you tell me you fired Sean McDermott, but you don't fire the dude that has been horrifically bad at drafting. He's been pretty bad at drafting. All of his recent first round picks have been flops. You've had Elam, he's pretty much almost out of the league. Darton Kincaid, when healthy, he's fine, but he's not been healthy. 2023, Keon Coleman,
He's fine.
He's been a flop. This year, they've not had a single major impact move since. They've not had any impact move that you can think of, and that's legitimately fact. And so my concern here is, like, you promote this guy that has done pretty much nothing positive for you in terms of roster construction to president of operations. It gives him full control of the team, which is dangerous to me. And seeing what I've gone through with Jack used to be in Bill Bryant, I am scared for the Bills. To be honest, I am scared for the Bills. I'm scared for the Bills. To be honest, I think the downfall, unfortunately, might have started a lot sooner than we anticipated, and that's at the peak of Josh Allen's career.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't like what this has at all.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that Brandon Cooks play is the nail, the nail in the Bills' coffin?
It kind of looks like it, because you guys are talking about the Texans and Jack Easterby and Bill O'Brien. This has a little bit more of a flavor of Ran Carthon and Mike Vrabel over in Tennessee, where they had a spat between each other, and the GM got rid of Mike Vrabel and nuked the team. And now look where they both are. And as far as their teams go, Mike Vrabel has the Patriots in a championship game, and the Titans are borderline picking number one for the past several years. And Ran Carthon has no job.
And I'd add that this year felt like the year of destiny for the Bills, because guess what? Everybody that was deemed their rivals was out of the playoffs, or the Texans. Everyone was out of the playoffs, and this year felt like the year of destiny, and they got bounced in the division round because they got bounced in the division round, and like magic has it, they fired the head coach immediately after. I mean, it's no coincidence. I mean that this playoff run felt like almost. I mean, you can never say it is when you have Josh Allen. It almost felt like the last ditch almost, in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have like the excuse that there's always been for Buffalo is like, hey, he ran into Mahomes. Like, what are you gonna do? There was no Mahomes. There was no Lamar. There was no Burrow. It was Bo Nix, man. Yeah. I mean, you can't excuse that.
Yeah. Do you think
people
the Bills
about the penalties? In that game, but that game was beyond the overtime. That game shouldn't have gone to overtime. Buffalo shouldn't have been down. What was it? 23 to 10 or 23-7?
Something like that.
Like they should not have been down that much anyways. Like you shouldn't go down that much with like people can say what they want about the wide receiver core. Like Brandon Cooks, decent. I mean Coleman decent. Kincaid pretty solid. Like they should have done better.
Yeah. I think this is not looking great for Bills fans. I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to say the whole thing is going to come crumbling down, but I think we might have just witnessed the a revitalization of the Patriots empire, where the Bills, Dolphins, and Jets are all just going to kind of be sitting at the bottom of the AFC East again. I think we may have just watched it in real time.
Is there a luckier fan base to be born into on the planet than the New England Patriots?
Oh, my goodness.
No, absolutely not.
Insane.
Like, they get 20 years of the greatest quarterback of all time. Then they have a couple years off where they still got to have, like, Cam Newton, have a little fun with that. And then they come back, and now they're in a conference championship game against Denver, and this feels like 2012, 2013 all over again. I feel like we're back in the Peyton Manning and Tom Brady glory days almost.
Yeah. It pays to be a Boston sports fan, not just a Patriots fan, but a Boston sports fan, period. So much success across the board. There's been spot years, but across the board, it really pays to be a Boston sports fan. But so to finalize this podcast, to finish us off, who do we have as our Super Bowl, and who is our winner? Who do we think it's going to be?
Rams, Pats. I'm with Asher. Who do you have winning, Asher?
Yeah.
Rams.
Rams.
Get Stafford. Yeah. Get Stafford that second ring. I can't stand Georgia.
Yeah.
And I can't stand any player who's played for Georgia except for Matthew Stafford. Just something about him. I just like watching Matthew Stafford play football. He's great. And McVay. I would not mind seeing McVay win another ring. Mm-hmm. And it's like
Puka gets a ring.
Yeah, Puka gets a ring.
Devontae Adams gets a ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think Rams Pats thinks the pick, and I think Rams win it. And I think they're gonna do it. So I think the Rams Seahawks game is gonna be a classic.
Yeah.
Do we have any kind of updates on Darnold's health?
I think he's gonna try and play through it. It kind of that's what it feels like. I think that's what Seattle fans want to happen.
Running on Toradol and prayer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it feels like whoever comes out of the Rams and Seahawks game is going to win the Super Bowl, basically.
Yeah.
That's questionable.
Yeah.
I didn't think Drake May was that great in the game against Houston, and you can say, well, he was going up against probably the best defense in the league. But I wasn't impressed with his performance there. So if it comes down to him against the Rams, I think the Rams got a great defense, especially the pass rush. I think they'd take care of it. And I hate seeing teams from Los Angeles win, but at least it's not the Dodgers this time.
Yeah, true. That's a whole other conversation that we'll have next time about the Dodgers, I'm sure. If Matt Stafford...
We don't have to. No, we don't have to.
I understand it.
They get enough spotlight.
Yeah,
already.
That's fair. If Matthew Stafford gets an MVP, does he retire? is he done after this one if he
No.
wins?
He still looks hungry. He still looks
Yeah.
hungry.
Like
Why
one
can't
more
he go
year,
three?
I think. Well, yeah.
He's not even slowing
That-
down either. It's not like he looks
back-
like he's getting old.
True.
The back issue of apparently is just vanished from the face of the earth. So as long as that's gone,
We didn't know if this guy was going to play at the beginning of the season.
I know.
And
Yeah,
we
now
have
he's
him
and
just
he goes on to
Now
not
he's-
miss he ain't missed a single game.
Yeah, now he's MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta figure it
So,
out,
like-
man. My back gets sore too often. I need to get on the Matt Stafford plan.
Yeah.
But back pain message because that company needs their stock is going way up.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see if we can't get some more back pain watching these conference championships. We will see you guys next time. We've got all kinds of new stuff coming your way. We've got this show. We've got a show called The Big Board on the way. We've got some game shows. We've got all kinds of sports content heading straight to you. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see y'all next time. Peace.
Where it stays, I